We begin at 5 with a wild scene in Oregon City. A suspected drunk driver slammed into almost a dozen vehicles, and it was all caught on camera. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. And just when you thought more than enough damage had been done, this driver kept going. Christelle Kumwe joins us in Oregon City. Christelle, wow, a total of 11 vehicles damaged, plus 2 businesses. I mean, really incredible here that no one but the driver was hurt.
That's right, David. No additional injuries were reported, and right now we are right where it all happened at Southridge Shopping Center in Oregon City. Now, the parking lot here serves several businesses, so it stays quite busy. Now, yesterday around this time, around 5 p.m., a guy pulled in, and his efforts to park a truck caused a lot of damage.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Julia and others parked at Southridge Shopping Center in Oregon City could never have anticipated what happened here Thursday night.
Some random guy was just hitting all the cars with a big truck.
Oregon City Police released this video on social media. It shows the white work truck hit a parked vehicle before going into reverse and hitting at least 2 more vehicles. The truck is then seen speeding away and crashing into 2 more vehicles before jumping the sidewalk and coming to a stop. In total, police say 11 cars were hit, including Julia's, who works at a restaurant in the shopping center.
It was damaged like on the back, the front, and the side.
And it was a pretty normal day. And then out of nowhere, there was just a big loud thud, and there was a Kia right about there, missing rims and its wheels.
Quinn McGinnis was working at Napa Auto Parts. He heard the commotion and saw the truck ramming into vehicles.
And when the car came down this way after it did some maneuvers, it came down, hit it, and it basically shoved that Kia. I saw the guy in the truck for a moment, like once I came out to initially see what happened.
Police say the driver of the truck also damaged 2 businesses. He was cited for DUI and reckless driving and taken to the hospital with injuries. No one else was injured. A relief for Julia and others who witnessed the rampage.
Thank God, because there's always people here going in and out of the the restaurants, and I'm glad that nobody got hurt. Yeah, it could have been a tragedy.
Now, police have not released the identity of the driver, but we do know that the Clackamas County District Attorney's Office is investigating this criminal case. And as far as Julia, her car is in the shop, and as of right now, she has no idea when she'll get it back. David, Laurel?
That video is just unbelievable. And yes, thank goodness nobody was hurt. Thank you, Christelle. And this was the scene at the Embassy Suites in Tigard earlier today. And you can see there a large police presence after a shooting overnight. We have learned 2 people are dead and police are still looking for the gunman. Mike Benner joins us from Tigard with more on this. Mike?
Well, Laurel, people here in Tigard will tell you this sort of thing just doesn't happen here. In fact, these 2 homicides are the first and second in Tigard this year. By the looks of it, investigators have cleared the scene, but earlier today, detectives were all over the Embassy Suites property. This hotel, of course, is on the north side of Washington Square Mall. We can tell you around 1:30 this morning, somebody called 911 to report possible gunshots at the hotel. Tigard police and officers from neighboring agencies raced to the scene. They searched the hotel and found 2 people dead. We know the victims are adult men. At this point, it's too early to tell if they were guests at the hotel. We don't know the motive either. All of that said, law enforcement is troubled by the fact these 2 people lost their lives, but this could have been worse. Listen.
You have families who are here, you have people on vacation, people on business trips, and it's a concerning situation, obviously. We're just really grateful that there's not an active threat and that this was isolated to the parts of the hotel where it happened.
Yeah, detectives are looking for that gunman. If you have information, you're urged to contact the Tigard Police Department. Back to you.
Mike Benner in Tigard. Thank you, Mike. Well, let's move on. Talk about another shooting. Fatal gun violence this morning in Portland, too, where a man was found dead in a car along the south waterfront. Now, police were called out to South River Parkway and South Moody Avenue just before 3:30. That is near the Marriott Residence Inn River Place. And they seem to be focusing on 2 vehicles. One of them with at least 6 bullet holes in the passenger side. Officers searched for a suspect. Right now, no word on any arrest. The shooting marks Portland's 35th homicide this year, sadly on pace to break last year's all-time homicide record in the city. Police have not identified the victim there. Well, the man accused of shooting a Portland Airbnb host has appeared before a judge. 21-year-old Kavion Lett was arraigned this afternoon on attempted murder charges. Police say he was staying at an Airbnb near Grand Avenue and MLK Boulevard Wednesday night. They say the host tried to talk to him through a door, and that's when he shot her. She was shot in the chest, was critically hurt, but thankfully is expected to survive.
Police have released new video and photos of people wanted for damage and vandalism in downtown Portland this week. On Tuesday night, hundreds gathered in downtown to march and protest. This was in response to the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion showing the court may be prepared to overturn Roe v. Wade. The protesters were mostly peaceful, but a few broke windows on businesses and spray painted graffiti. Anyone with information about who they are should call police. In the abortion debate, local health clinics are preparing for a surge in patients if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. Blair Best is outside one of those clinics. Blair, Oregon's abortion providers want people to know they aren't going anywhere.
Laurel, we're outside the Lilith Clinic here in downtown Portland, and it's surgery day, meaning when they provide abortion services. Now, because of this, there have been protests. Now, there aren't any protesters out here right now, but earlier today there was a handful of people with signs right outside the front door. And it's really a preview of what these types of clinics will see if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Now, the Lilith Clinic is the only independent abortion clinic in the state. They're expecting a dramatic increase in out-of-state patients if Roe v. Wade is overturned. They already see about 10 patients a month from Texas. And Oregon is expected to see a 234% increase in patients. That's according to a study from the Guttmacher Institute. This putting pressure on clinics just like the Lilith.
We have already been seeing patients from Idaho ever since we opened our doors. Working in abortion care is truly an honor for me, and I will never stop fighting as long as I am able to make sure people can get the care that they need.
Now, those at the clinic say this Supreme Court leak is really causing confusion among patients, but they have two messages. One, that yes, they are facing a major threat, but another is that no matter what the Supreme Court decides, abortion will remain legal here at the state level. Laurel, David.
And I imagine there will be some confusion until we get that final decision later this summer. Blair Best, thank you, Blair. We'll have a look at this next incredible video from the Coast Guard. Rough seas pummeling a 26-foot sailboat somewhere in there. Wow. Thursday near Astoria. It was getting so dangerous, the man on board decided he was actually safer abandoning ship, jumping off and trying to swim away. There he goes right there into the water. The Coast Guard thankfully watching, rescued him quickly, hoisting him up and into an ambulance. And you see it here. The boat eventually washed up at Fort Stevens State Park. Wow.